Welcome to the Unblock Your Business podcast. I'm Abby Rogers, success coach, business coach, and hypnotherapist, and I help high achievers and business leaders to take control of their minds to achieve incredible success, smash those income goals, and above all, create a life of abundance, well-being, and happiness. Join me as we slay imposter syndrome, level up your mindset, and get you feeling like you can achieve anything you want in your life or business. Because, you really can when you get your mind in the right place. Let's dive in and look at how you can show up bigger, better, and more uniquely aligned in life and business today. Hey there, welcome to Unblock Your Business, episode 48. And as you may have guessed from the title, I am writing my first actual book. Hooray! Now this is, for me, so exciting because it's something I have wanted to do for ages, and it's a really, really big part of how I see things evolving for my business for the future, and for me to become this real presence in the entrepreneurial space and reach far outside of the realms of Facebook and everywhere I've been hanging out for since time began, really. Obviously, the podcast is a wonderful way to do that and to connect with you, and you can hear me speaking and we can be really wonderfully connected in this way. But I think a book is such a great way to get tons of value and really useful implementable information out there for very little money, that people can really digest in their own time and get huge benefits from. So I'm so excited about this. And I've always seen such huge value in what I can do for people in the work I do with people one-to-one and in my masterminds. And I mean, absolutely huge. And to be able to bring that into an easily digestible, really low-cost medium is just super wonderful for me. So throughout my work, the changes I've seen in people's lives have been immense and incredibly satisfying for me, and quite literally life-changing for them. Now, I know I nominally work with people on their business mindset, and that's kind of what the book is going to be focused around and about. But the deep subconscious work around that and the way that I help people understand their mind has this way of spilling out into all sorts of other areas of life too. So, for example, that work one-to-one and in small groups has had far-reaching consequences. So people have really noticed changes in their confidence, even for things like driving and being able to leave the house and interact comfortably outside of their business and business networking. It's helped people with public speaking. It's helped people with fears around things they used to really enjoy, like adventure hobbies and sports. It's had a huge impact on people's relationships. It's helped people make massive career and life decisions that they just weren't able to get anywhere with before we started working together. It's helped with people's eating habits, weight management, and body acceptance, and just all sorts of stuff. And it's incredibly powerful stuff. And in the earlier days when I was running my local hypnotherapy practice, the work I was able to do was very limited to people who could afford to work with me one-to-one then. And I was also really only able to serve a few people at once. And that's always been true of any one-to-one or mastermind type offerings I've put out into the online space as well. It's always been for kind of the select few who were in that place where they were able to make quite a significant investment. But meanwhile, I was seeing people everywhere struggling with the very same issues and just wishing that I could do so much more to help them. And just knowing if I was able to sit down with everybody and have a bit of a conversation about what was going on with their mind and their thinking, that they could walk away from that conversation and their life would literally be quite different from there on in. So that really was my whole reason for embarking on this crazy roller coaster of entrepreneurial adventure in the first place, was moving my business online so that I could start to look at other ways to serve so many more people and help them change their lives in an easy, accessible way. And that's led to me doing things like creating a membership and launching this podcast, building a couple of Facebook groups and discarding those, and creating awesome e-courses and offerings that I know are so powerful and transformational. But there's always been this little nagging voice in my mind saying, write the book, just write the damn book, just get this info out there, help as many people as possible. So I am. And I love to write. I've always been really drawn to writing. It's my most natural form of expression and communication. And I'm a real big reader as well, both written books and audio books. I find for me that's a really easy way to absorb information. I know it's not for everybody, but for me, it really helps me to just digest and learn so much. And I can't tell you how many books I've read over the last couple of years or so. I'm like constantly on the go. I constantly have maybe 4 or 5 books on the go. And it's just, for me, such a wonderful, easy, incredibly cheap way to digest so much amazing knowledge. And if you think about like the amount you can learn from a book that's just a few pounds or just a few dollars, it's really incredible. It's such a wonderful medium that we have, and quite frequently life-changing as well. I'd like to bet that you can think of maybe a book or a few books that have been absolutely transformational for you. There's been that real like life-changing moment. So that's what I want this book to be, is an amazing resource that helps everyone who's in their business or thinking of starting a business to really understand how their brain works and master their thinking, so that they can build their businesses without all the mindset struggles that you hear of all the time. The imposter syndrome, procrastination and shiny object syndrome, the visibility struggles, perfectionism, comparison, money mindset issues, motivation, overwhelm, all of the things. And all these things are absolutely struggles that can be overcome once you understand your brain and once you understand what is really going on and you know how to turn your thinking to your advantage. So that is what I'm going to set out to achieve. And that feels just like the thing that I was kind of put here on this earth to do. So this is the pinnacle right here. So I'm just going to start today by putting it out there and giving you the first draft of my introduction. And I thought I would read that out to you so that you get a real feel for the book and how it's going to be. So here goes. Get my book reading voice on. When you start writing a book, you don't have to have it all perfectly planned out in your mind. You don't write it in order. Title, contents page, chapter 1, chapter 2, and so forth. Sure, you can have a loose plan, but there's no way of knowing what the end result will look like before you've started. You just have to dive in and start creating and watch the whole thing unfold before your eyes. It has to be messy, organic, and intuitive. You have to let it evolve. There will be things you write that don't make sense and don't make the final cut. Along the way, you'll get flashes of genius, deep insights and inspiration that you didn't even know were lurking in your mind, just waiting to get out. And you gradually construct it bit by bit until you have something that you're ready to release into the world. You may even write several books, maybe many books, before you create that hit, that bestseller that you always knew you had in you. But if you keep writing for long enough, one day that prize-winning piece will come spilling out. Business is just the same. Nobody starts a business on day one and has everything figured out. Nobody gets it all perfect straight out at the starting blocks. It's a process of creating, learning, tweaking, refining, seeing what fits and what doesn't. It's a process which means constantly coming up with ideas, many of which will be discarded along the way. Nobody can tell you how to write your story. Nobody knows what that successful business looks like for you. Only you can discover that. And you can only discover that if you're open to the process. In my business life, I've observed that many potentially brilliant entrepreneurs and business owners stop themselves from ever succeeding by stifling this creative process, by not trusting themselves and their intuition, by getting sucked in by self-doubt and self-criticism, fear around missing out on what everyone else is doing, and the mistaken belief that other people are naturally better at this than them. They tie themselves up in knots of procrastination. They lie awake at night worrying about what the next right move is, and whether to get any further in their business they need to invest in a new website, new photos, better branding, or that coach who's preaching the latest incredible strategy for getting a gazillion hot leads in your inbox every day. Instead of writing their next chapter and working towards getting the thing done, they constantly seek reassurance that they've got the title right or that every paragraph is in perfect balance with the last. Creativity can't thrive when we try to force it, or when we stuff it back in the bottle and tell it to wait until we're perfect. Neither can your business. In my work as a mindset coach and hypnotherapist for entrepreneurs, I've worked with some incredible women who have become trapped in this cycle of self-doubt and low self-worth, to help them to a place where they believe in themselves again, and where they have the resilience to keep on believing even when things get tough. When they come to me, typically they've spent far too much time and money on strategic coaching, only to find they didn't learn anything they didn't know already. And all that because they hadn't trusted themselves and listened to their inner knowing. They've struggled to put themselves out there through fear of what other people might think, even to the point where they've sabotaged their entire lead flow and lost a successful business as a result. They've got so caught up in all the shoulds of business that they've been working ridiculous hours, staying up all night to work, getting very little of any real value done, suffering with ill health and sacrificing their relationships and personal life for a much lower return than they had hoped. All in the name of a business that's supposed to bring them freedom. All in the name of a business that's supposed to give them time to enjoy life. All in the name of hitting goals they've set for themselves which continue to feel so far out of reach for so long, and ultimately don't feel all that satisfying even when they hit them. I'm writing this book to show you how to navigate your journey through entrepreneurship to avoid all that, and to actually create a business that brings you joy, freedom, time, financial rewards, and the life you've been dreaming of. I'm going to talk a lot about your subconscious brain and how to get it on board with your journey rather than sabotaging you at each turn. Because that's the bottom of the iceberg, the bit that really is the foundation of all the rest. Mindset and strategy are nothing without subconscious support. And I'm going to share with you everything I've learned on my own journey as a multi-6 and 7-figure business owner to help make your life easier and to help you save time, money, and stress. I wish I'd had a book like this to help me through the minefield of being a business owner when I started out, and for many, many months beyond. But I didn't. So now that I know what I know, I thought I'd write it. I hope you enjoy it. Now, I know this is going to be massively beneficial for so many people in the entrepreneurial and business world, and I just can't wait to get it out there now. I'm planning to launch it at the back end of the year, so watch this space, hopefully September-ish time. And if you want to order your copy now, you can do that. Just click through to the show notes, either where you found the episode, you should be able to find a link there, or at www.unblockyourbusiness.com/podcast. Search for this episode and you'll find a link there where you can pre-order the book at the special pre-launch price of just £2.99, which is going to be insane value for the amount of help you get from this book. So jump in there and order your copy now, and I'll make sure it hits your inbox as soon as it's released. And I really can't wait for that. So I shall be scribbling away frantically in the background, making sure I make this amazing for you. I cannot wait to share this with you. It really is going to change your life and business for the better. So keep an eye out, and I will be back next week. See you soon. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for listening. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, it would be incredible if you could pop a review on iTunes, Google, or your favourite podcast platform. Don't forget to subscribe for more incredible mindset and strategic updates every single week. And I would love you to head over to www.unblockyourbusiness.com, where you can pick up free resources for imposter syndrome, money mindset, and so much more, and join my incredible email community, the A-List. See you there.